The brave bunny who saved the day. Once upon a time, in a beautiful meadow filled with lush green grass and colorful flowers, lived a small and timid bunny named Binky. Binky was the smallest of all the animals in the meadow, and he was always afraid of the other animals, especially the big and scary fox. Binky loved to hop around the meadow, nibbling on the sweet grass and playing with his fellow bunnies. But he never ventured too far from his burrow, and he always kept a watchful eye out for the fox, who was known to prey on small animals like him. One sunny day, while Binky was out enjoying his afternoon snack, he heard a loud cry for help. It was the little bird who had fallen from her nest and was stuck on the ground, unable to fly back up. Binky could see that the bird was scared and helpless, and he knew he had to do something to help her. At first, Binky was too scared to approach the bird. He knew that the fox was always lurking around, waiting to catch a small animal for its dinner. But then Binky remembered something his mother had told him when he was young. She had said, "Even the smallest and weakest animals can be brave if they try." With this thought in his mind, Binky took a deep breath and hopped towards the bird. He asked her what had happened, and the bird told him about her misfortune. Binky knew he had to act fast, so he came up with a plan. Binky asked the bird to hop on his back, and together they started to climb up the tall tree where the bird's nest was. Binky hopped and hopped, taking care not to drop the bird. It was a long climb, and Binky was tired, but he kept going, determined to help the little bird. Finally, they reached the top of the tree, and the bird was overjoyed to be back in her cozy nest. She thanked Binky for his help and gave him a warm hug. Binky felt proud and happy that he had been able to help the little bird. Just as they were about to climb back down, the big and scary fox appeared out of nowhere. Binky froze in fear, but he knew he had to be brave for the bird's sake. He puffed out his chest and stood his ground, staring at the fox straight in the eyes. The fox was taken aback by Binky's bravery and decided to leave them alone. Binky and the bird climbed back down the tree safely, and the bird thanked Binky once more for saving her life. From that day on, Binky was no longer timid. He had discovered his bravery, and all the animals in the meadow respected him for it. Binky had become a hero, and everyone looked up to him. The next day, as Binky was hopping around the meadow, he heard another cry for help. This time it was coming from the river nearby. Binky saw that a family of ducks was caught in the strong current of the river, and they were struggling to stay afloat. Binky knew he had to help them. He hopped to the edge of the river and saw that the water was too deep for him to swim. But he remembered that his friend, the wise old owl, lived nearby. The owl was known to be the smartest animal in the meadow, and Binky thought he might be able to help. So, Binky hopped over to the owl's tree and asked for his help. The owl listened to Binky's story and said, "I have an idea. I can tie a rope around you, and you can swim to the ducks and help them get to safety." Binky was nervous but agreed to try. The owl tied a rope around Binky's waist, and Binky hopped into the river, and the current was strong, but he was determined to save the ducks. He swam towards them, and when he reached them, he gave them the rope and helped them hold onto it. The wise old owl and other animals in the meadow pulled the rope, and slowly, the ducks made it to safety. The ducks were grateful, and they thanked Binky for his bravery and kindness. From that day on, Binky was no longer known as the small and timid bunny. He was now known as the small and brave bunny who saved the day. The other animals in the meadow looked up to Binky, and they realized that even the smallest and weakest animals could be heroes if they tried. Binky had shown them that bravery comes in all shapes and sizes, and everyone has the potential to be a hero. Binky continued to help his fellow animals whenever they were in trouble, and he became a beloved member of the meadow. He had discovered his true calling, and he knew that helping others was his purpose in life. And so, Binky lived happily ever after, hopping around the meadow, helping his friends, and spreading bravery and kindness wherever he went.